started doing research about living in Ajijic, there were pictures, an aerial view of the town, and what I noticed was two things. That it was a town filled with beautiful trees, and the ones that were in bloom were these jacarandas. And if my husband just does a look behind my shoulder, look at this. Can you imagine driving towards the village and being underneath the bower of these beautiful flowers? It's the middle of March, and it's the rainy season. And we've had some showers. What? It's the dry season, but it seems like the rainy season because like yesterday and the day before we had some showers. So this is the juxtaposition. You have beautiful lavender trees like this, and then you have the brown hills. So there's always something inviting about Ajijic. So, this is my Prince tribute. Purple rain! We're going to go and see two other flowering trees that are in bloom right now. Dazzling yellow tree, which is called Primavera, and a little bit more obscure but still quite striking is a pinky purple tree that is called Arbol. When we look down from our house up in the mountains, we look down upon the little village of San Juan Cosala, and right now I love the view when I get up in the morning, because it's a combination of jacaranda lavender trees and these beautiful golden flowers on this tree. It's called Primavera. And I'm just going to do a little, right here is, I just think it's left to its own devices. It has beautiful strong branches in which little kids to climb on. And I just love the way it just tints the sky with a brighter than sunshine yellow. This is an absolutely fascinating tree. If you look at the tops of it, it looks like it's a little a round tail of a lamb or sheep, and it's fluffy and white. So you think, oh, this is the way God wants it to spread its seeds. It's light as air, can be driven by the wind. Inside are the seeds. And before, it's hard, it's put, as my husband would say, in this hard casing. So it pops open, and look how beguiling that is too. Now white is also a clue that it is obvious and evident at night. So maybe moths or birds or bats that feed at night are also attracted to it. But this right here is light, is so light, and it's softer than silk. So we can call it a cotton tree, or a silk tree, or a lamb's tail tree, or based on those spines, an alligator tree. So somebody in the my friend Mary Steele about the trees that were in bloom, and one of them I described as, it's kind of a pinky purple, and she said, orchid? I go, yeah, that's right, it's the color orchid. So we went to the Lake Chapala Society to return an overdue book, and we saw Mauricio, who's one of my husband's hiking buddies, and he's the gardener there too. And I pointed to the tree and I said, what do you call this tree? Take a look. What would you call this tree? Arboles Orquídeas. So it's an orchid tree. And take a look at this mom. My mom is a great plants woman, and she grows many specimens of orchids. And look at this. This looks like the Sibidian orchid. The darker maroon through there, and the sexy stamens. And you know, you could put this behind your ear and say, sorry, I'm not available. But this flower right now is in bloom, and this homeowner has been very clever, and they've got it right next to maroon bougainvillea. So this tree, although is not as prevalent as the yellow Primavera tree, or which I think should be Jacaranda Tree City, Ajijic, but it is still noticeable and beautiful and exotic. I wanted to show you lastly the pods. I'm not an arborist by any stretch. My limit of horticultural things is also very limited. But in Mexico, a lot of trees have huge pods like this, and they look so delectable. You just want to eat them up. just open it, eat, and while you watch Shaw TV and munch on them and stuff like that. Sometimes they're bitter, I've heard. Sometimes if you can take bitter, and I do like bitter things, try it. Maybe it's edible. Or maybe not. Don't do this at home, kids.